Hi there, this is Simone. I would like to flip through my Stalogy that I used in the beginning of the year, or actually for the first 6 months of 2020 as my planner. I have filmed this video already and it was way too long, so I'm trying to make it short and sweet. I had this Stalogy notebook from the time when I was trying to use it as a journal. I was going to use this with fountain pens and the fountain pens just didn't work out as a great writing experience on this paper. And so I stopped after I was through the first signature here, and I cut that out and then put this notebook aside and used a different notebook. That means I had this laying around, and when I'm always very, very inspired by the way Dakshina, her YouTube channel, if you don't know her, I will link her YouTube channel below. You should check her out. She is an amazing planner. All the planners she uses always look so pretty, but also super functional. Which is exactly the same way that I like to use my planners. And so she was a huge inspiration for me to use a Stalogy. And since I had the A6, I decided that I would not go and get the exact same planner that she has. She's using B6, which is quite a bit bigger, but I would just try and emulate her style into the A6. Most of the time I used Hobonichi covers. The A6 Stalogy fits in here perfectly. I had two different ones. I changed them out. In between, I also used Perfect Fit covers from Foxy Fix, but I am not convinced. If I ever go back to an A6 Stalogy, I will definitely keep using the Hobonichi covers. I decorated the front with this yellow sticker and then the 2020 early in January, and then when I used the leather covers, only the back page slips in, so this is open, and I added some more stickers. But I really liked the very simplistic way that it was decorated before too. Since I cut out the first signature in this book, I also added a new flyleaf right here. There was like 2 millimeters of this gray flyleaf left, and I just added it onto here. And then I stuck this page on here, and this is how usually these books are bound. If you look in the back, same way. So I just copied what was in the back to the front with the papers that I had. I stuck this Coffee Monsters pocket right here, and then a die cut from the Coffee Monsters and another die cut that says, you don't always need a plan, sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens. This is a sticker from the Style Planner. I added my name, and yeah, if it is stuck in here, this is not visible, but still totally okay. On the first page right here, since it's not really opening up all the way, I just added this decal that I got from my friend Dakshina. It says hands of my planner, and it's absolutely beautiful and works really well on that page. I then created kind of a title page using a stencil, writing 2020, and then I added this die cut from the Style Planner, and this is my cheat sheet for the monthly overview, which is 4x4 boxes big and goes from 9 a.m. to 19. And then I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows for the month. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on this side, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on this side. I really liked the simplicity of this and decided not to print any printables because I can totally do this myself. And that just helped me create the monthly layout every month. I added this yearly overview for 2020. I did not really need it at all. if I would ever make a planner myself again, I might use a overview, but definitely not this one because that didn't work out for me. I then had every month of the year on half a page for forward planning. This turned out to be kind of a log for things that need cleaning sporadically throughout the year, and also for ideas that I was thinking about and that I needed to rethink in a specific month, so that I would be ready then. And so I just like wrote down that I wanted to start taking vitamin D3 in October, stuff like that, that I wouldn't forget that. And it turned out it worked really great. The blue was usually when I logged when I changed or cleaned something, so that when I would do it the next time, I would know when I would need to do this. Because sometimes, even though I write down, oh, you need to clean this and this, then but when exactly did I do this the last time? And so it's a nice way of forward planning for cleaning tasks, as well as checking when was the last time that I did this. I created my monthly overview, had my projects right here, and then I usually had a next actions list. In the beginning, here's a cleaning list, budget, YouTube workflow, ideas for the month, and then I would go into my weeks. In the beginning of the year, for 3 months, I would do 1 page per day. I would set up this whole week in one go, and then I would add my notes at the back of the week, and then start the next week and set it all up, and then would add my notes at the end. I would add die cuts if I found them, and make dashboards if that was something that I wanted to do. These were date stickers, or it was a free printable that I just printed it on paper and cut it out with my scissors and added them throughout. When I went away, I used my planner as a journal. That week, if you noticed, I went straight from that dashboard into the first day of the week, not having my meal plan and my Instagram. And when I realized that I made this mistake, I just added it at the end of the week. The first week of this year, I used a to-do list, but it didn't really work. So I put my to-do list on a post-it note and moved it along, which later on you will see wasn't really perfect as well. So I went back to having my to-do list in the planner and not on a post-it note. This is my week 4, another day of journaling, and then we're going back to 1 page per day with to-dos. Just notice there's lots of empty spaces, which is okay, but also I felt like I wasn't using this book to its full potential. It's another day of journaling. And when everything was still normal, and COVID and self-isolation and sheltering in place and all of that wasn't a thing, I would set up the week all the way through to Sunday, even if February 1st was a Saturday, and then after that week was finished, I would set up for the next month. I would have a waiting on list, a pretty paper, my monthly overview, and the tab for each of the months would always go on the monthly overview. And then my next actions, my February ideas, my budget, a nice die cut, and then I would start the week and the month. I added in some notes that I received from friends. There's a packing list right here. There's more journaling. There's no journaling. There's notes for a YouTube video. Week 7. and then we go in, and this is how this whole notebook looked like. Dakshina usually puts washi tape at the bottom. I copied that, but for some reason it just doesn't look right for me, and so sometime later I will stop doing this. I found these things and was just inspired to create, so I did that. And then I would continue using my planner, as I said before, 1 page per day. So often I would use it as a timed daily, so 5 to 9, 15, and then 11:30 to 3. YouTube video notes, another cleaning list, and then we go into week 9. And this is kind of where I think I used to add these washi strips before, and this is where I started adding them after, if there was still room on the page, and as you can see, there wasn't. And so I just added them interspersed wherever there was space. That was the end of February. There's the 1st of March, so this means we go into March right here. I had a list for my knitting projects because there were so many weeks, and also I had other projects as well, so I decided to make a whole page for all of those projects. This monthly spread looks super pretty. I love how it turned out. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out as a reference because it was so busy. It was hard to see what was actually going on. And on the 16th, we started shelter in place, and then everything was canceled anyway. I had a next actions list, ideas. I started my money list. I divided it into the different weeks. However, again, once we went into shelter in place, I didn't go anywhere and I didn't purchase anything. So this page I didn't need. I wrote down what I purchased online, and then I started back with using to-do lists in my notebook. So there is a full weekly setup. This month, I also started to go away from daily, 1 page per day, into not setting up the whole week before the week started, but just using the Monday and then writing everything that belonged to Monday. And once Monday was over, on Tuesday or Monday night, I would add the Tuesday sticker and write everything down here. So the pages got fuller. I didn't use as much space, but I felt, and it really worked much better to have this like that. There was a notes on a video, and then as you can see, there's like 5 days on these 2 pages, but it worked much better. So then week 11, I added in this washi dashboard just because I wanted to. This is the 15th. I wrote down what we could do during Corona scare. This is where we started our shelter in place. I was so shocked and just that I didn't have any to-dos. Once I started getting acquainted and feeling, well, comfortable is the wrong word, but like processing all of this, the week was already over and there was no sense in adding a to-do list. So that was what was happening here. Even though I would add my to-dos, this is more journaling. I have been doing this all through the book, but here it is very obvious. I color-coded my notes. So black was schedule, timed events, all of those things. Red was to-dos, and blue was journaling. And so I journaled more than I did anything else. As you can see, once the week was over, even if there was lots of space beneath, I would still stop at the Sunday, set up the next week, and then start Monday after these weekly pages. My to-dos were a lot less, so I didn't need a full page for the to-do list, so I added my meal plan underneath. The kids started distance learning and I wrote down their new schedule. Then we started Monday, and then I had YouTube videos that I had a YouTube workflow up front. That list was full, and then I created a new one. These pages that I would reference more often, I would usually tab with these tab sticky notes from Muji. And then I would just, here for instance, I started Wednesday. I thought I didn't really have to write down a lot, but it turned out to be a lot more than I thought. So I just moved on to the next empty page and finished that day. I took medicine, and so I made sure that I tracked what my intake. There's a note from Happy Mail that I stuck in here, and then this is how it went on. To meal plan, to-dos, Instagram posts, and then I went back without intentionally doing this to 1 page per day a lot of the times because I just wrote down so much journaling. As you can see, I moved from going all the way through the end of the week to setting up the next month when it started, because I was at home, I didn't go anywhere, and I could just wait it out because there was nothing that needed to be pre-planned. I could sit down on Tuesday and set up the 31st of March and set up April that day. I could even do this on the 1st of April because, again, what was I doing anyway? Nothing. This is a free printable from Mr. and Mrs. Mint. I think I have 2 or 3 of those in this Stalogy. They have them for free on their website, and I really love the style. And a big plus for them is that they start with Monday, and I am a Monday start person all the way through my planners, and so this works great for me. I added this vellum in here. I tried to use up a sticker kit from Coco Daisy. And here's my monthly projects over here, ideas, my budget. I changed my meal planning onto this monthly overview. It worked out well. And I actually moved my meal planning into my monthly overview. In my new planner, it is A5 size, and so there's enough room on these boxes to actually have meals on there without taking up the whole box. So I went and worked on all of those things. This is another notes page. If I had space, I would create some kind of pretty things. My weekly page here, my to-do list, and then I started using more stickers because when I was journaling, I would be able to add stickers to all of this. There's lots of pages where I inked up my fountain pens because I thought I was going to use them. But again, I abandoned this book because my fountain pens and inks wouldn't really work in here. They bleed through, and I just can't handle bleeding through. I tried to use them over here to set up my weekly page, but as you can see, it was just too bad. So I just cut out the page and recreated it in here. I really love the sound of the paper. I love the thickness. I love using the Uni Jetstream, which is a ballpoint pen in this. It writes very smoothly on here and it works like a charm, but it doesn't work with lots of other pens. And so right now I'm using Tomoe River paper, and that is much more forgiving for most of the pens that I have, and I enjoy it a lot more, which is a reason why I'm not so sure that I will be using a Stalogy again. All right, so here's my weekly to-do list and my meal plan and my Instagram, and then again, I'm going back into this. This is where I started journaling a lot and using lots of stickers and enjoying the use of those stickers. And it probably is the start where I feel like I could use an A5 planner without having too much open space. This is week 17. Here again, I created this tiny cluster of stuff just because I wanted to, so I added it right here. I love, love, love layering things, stickers. It's just feels great. I enjoy it immensely, so I do it whenever I can. I even, there's notes for a face mask, and then I just added this day underneath. I went from journaling in blue to journaling in black, just whatever I felt like. Okay, so I was just cut off. I was just showing these layers here, and I'm just gonna continue on flipping through this. I set up May when April 30th was over. This is again a free printable from Mr. and Mrs. Mint. I did not have a monthly overview, as I just noticed, because there wasn't any sense in because we didn't have any things going on outside the house. I didn't really need it. At the end of the month, I decided I was going to use one in June, so it didn't really work out that way, but in the beginning of the month, I thought I didn't need one. I added the birthdays right here. There's projects here. There's a yoga schedule from Yoga with Adrienne. This is my meal planning. Didn't really work out in May, obviously. Next actions, May ideas. And then I'm starting the first with the Friday. I am using a free printable again from Bear Koopa and Hank's Diary. Either one of them. They kind of alternate every month, with the free printables. Sometimes they don't have any, but it's always worth looking on their Instagram if they have these, because they're always super pretty. So again, I'm cutting them out and then sticking them in. What I did here is I printed this only on a half sheet of a letter size paper, so they're smaller and they're easier to add in compared to where's the kittens? The kittens from here. So we have May, and I'm journaling sometimes in black, sometimes in blue. I was cut off and I had to refilm part of it, so I'm not sure if I actually noted this already. And then I'm going through this, and as you can see, I'm really, it changes from a very pretty functional to very decorated or layered. It's still functional for me, but it's a lot more. I really have the time to decorate it like that, and I'm immensely enjoying that during that time. Sometimes I have lots to say, sometimes there's only this much for a day. Super fine. I'm incorporating ephemera, and I don't remember again if I said this before or if that was what got caught off. This is around the time when I'm playing with the idea of moving into a Hobonichi Cousin Avec, the A5 size, because I am writing so much, I am decorating so much, I am enjoying the decorating so much, and so I'm contemplating if I'm going to move to the B6 Stalogy that I have in my stash, or if I'm going to see and find a Cousin Avec that I can purchase from the buy sell trade group. Here I stuck in another note from a Happy Mail. I tested a stamp right here. I used all of the things that I received, like here I tried out the washi tape right here. There's some ideas for yarn talk here, and then I actually used 2 pages to journal about a day. I took notes on calls, so there's lots of more things. Ideas for videos where I just added a sticker and a title and then wrote down the ideas that I have. another 2-page per day, another video that I actually filmed. And then I also started matching the to-do, the writing, the pen to write the to-do list on to the colors up here. And again, I really just fun. These fell into my hands. I don't remember how and when, but I just liked the way they looked together, and so I created this cluster and added it to this page. The next week is coming here. I received Happy Mail from Happy Daya and this monthly overview, and it's dated, so I decided to just stick it in instead of hoarding it and then one day not being able to use it. So it's in my planner. I have it there. I can look at it, and I decided to use this to commemorate the day that my newest nephew was born. As you can see, I'm matching the colors, and it's just fun. And yeah, so we have my to-do list, some kind of note, and then questions that I have about a school goes to here, and then journaling. So there's lots happening on these pages, and it just works. Here there wasn't a lot happening that weekend. I only had these things to do, so I decided to just write down that it was a 3-day weekend. It started for me on a Friday and then went Saturday and Sunday, and that is what I did in just a couple of words. Another empty space that I filled with this die cut, set up my next week, and went on with my business. This is when 2 things happened. George Floyd was killed, I think on Memorial Day or the day after. And then on the 26th, we took in 3 kittens to foster. That's the following pages. I intended to document their pooping, weight, what else? Eating behavior. However, yeah, it didn't last long. I was able to see that they were growing, and I documented their weight on another paper, and it worked out much better. And then I just didn't finish these pages, but that's okay. Sometimes you try things and they just don't work out. This is also when I'm not journaling a lot. I also don't really do a lot because 3 kittens are very, very work intensive. Also, I was worrying so much. I know how to deal with kittens. I had cats when I was growing up, but it's still different to take in 5-week-old kittens. And yeah, so I was worried a lot. And I didn't sleep well, so that was really bad. I made a meal plan right here, so I just stuck it in so I wouldn't lose it. Here's more journaling, to-do lists, and then we go into June. I add in this vellum where I wrote down some, definitely not all, of the Black people that I researched. I found a list on Instagram. I didn't even think about why these people, it was just on that list. And so I researched those and just found out what happened to them, why they were killed. It was very eye-opening. I will definitely urge you to do your own research and start, if you haven't really thought about why Black people and white people, everybody protests on the streets. Not everything is great here, and so there's lots of things that can and should change, especially for Black people. That's what I made my monthly overview page all about. And I did not use this yoga calendar, unfortunately. This is my next actions list and ideas list. I went into and again, I didn't have a monthly overview. That is interesting. I thought I changed that, but I don't. Oh, there is one in the Hobonichi Cousin that I started. It was for June and I used that. So that's why there is none in here, because by that time I had already decided that I was going to move not into the Stalogy as I had intended, but into the Hobonichi Cousin. All right, then my weekly setup, I found this. Oh, I wanted to add a to-do list. For some reason, I did not add a to-do list that week. I guess I didn't get to it again. And I just covered up this empty page with this card from Brandy Kincaid. And if you haven't seen it yet, it is fabulous. It took me a while to actually understand it for some reason, but once I did, I just loved it even more. It says, consider everything an experiment, and then everything that you could do is in one of those chemical containers that are used to do chemical experiments. So that was just super fun. I'm using another printable, and maybe that's the reason why this is not working so well. It's black and white, and it's huge. And this week I started posting about Black Lives Matters on my Instagram feed as well in my stories, and I decided to write down my Instagram following several days throughout the week just to see what would happen. And actually, as you can see, on June 1st I had 2,981, and on June 7th I had 2,971, which is totally fine. I don't mind you unfollowing me if you don't agree with me. That's your, it was an interesting experiment to see and document, but it was nothing that I would be upset about. Next week, to-do list, meal plan. It was very laid back. I think I was already ready to move on to my next planner, and so I just kept it very low profile. As you can see, I'm still adding stickers, but yeah, I was going to say not as much, but there's still some. So it just depends on the mood and the time that I had to write. And then, so that's the Sunday, and then I'm adding my to-do list right here, my meal plan and Instagram, and look at this. This ghosting, bleeding through almost. I cannot deal with this. This is a mild liner, and it was just too much. And so I was very happy that I made the decision to move into the Hobonichi Cousin with Tomoe River paper, just so that I can see if it was all in my head that the Tomoe River was so much better, or if it actually is. I filmed a flip through, and then I usually rewatch my flip throughs and write down all the things that I want to link, and I just added them right underneath where I filmed it, wrote it down, and then used this as my worksheet. And so we're already in mid-June, and this is what it looks like. I didn't write down anything on Saturday, Sunday even more. And then June, the last week of June, 6, Monday. So again, I'm using 1 page per day again, but I'm not setting it up ahead of time. It just happens to work out that way. Well, obviously, maybe I did set it up. I have no idea. It looks like, because otherwise I would have put this underneath here. That was the last full week in this planner. So I wrote down this weekly review that I intend to do every Sunday. I saw this on Ellie's Corner. She wrote what tasks didn't get done, what went well, what didn't go well, and what is my focus for next week. And it's really a good way to just wrap up the week and just finishing it off and putting it aside. And then I filmed a June flip, and that was this page. And then there's still, well, probably half a month of pages left. And this is what where is it? Oh, I stuck some, what is this, paper, my YouTube schedule onto this. This was where I tested out a monthly overview, what it would look like. You can see it ghosting through here. I printed these free printables from Pen and Alex and just wrote down which video I posted. It's kind of like a log as well as a pre-planning instrument. That's why it's in pencil, because it's just writing down the ideas that I have and trying to fit them into I try to post every Saturday, and then everything else is a bonus, and just trying to fit the videos where I have the time, and sometimes it doesn't work out, so I'm just erasing it again. So I went all through June, and then my July YouTube schedule is in my other planner. Last August, when I was contemplating using this A6 Stalogy as my planner, I decided, instead of having this idea in the back of my head all the time and thinking about it constantly, I would just use this for a week, and I just use the back pages and try it out to see if this is really what I was going with. And it helped a lot with decision making during Hobonichi planner releases and Jibun Techo and all the other planner releases, but because I knew I was going to use this. So that was what this was. I had some of these sticky notes that I used repeatedly, like the week and the meals. I would just put them here. So I usually had 2, and once this week was over, I would just stick it here and had another one ready to go for the next week. And that was what that week looked like when I tested it. And then I decided, yes, this is what I wanted to do. And at the end of the book, this is my pen test and ink and stamp and all and watercolor test page. I have one thing that I really enjoy and that I now have in all the planners that I own is an empty sticker sheet from some kind that's just big enough to fill the last page. I glue it down on these 4 corners, and then I just add, when there's only a couple of stickers or some of those arrows on a sticker sheet left that is otherwise empty, I move all the stickers onto here and then try to use them throughout my next planning sessions. And that really helps a lot with using up all those odd stickers that sometimes just never get used. Those, however, I need to move to somewhere else. That is the end. There's nothing else in this notebook. I just wanted to show you, because sometimes people ask me if adding stickers and washi tape adds bulk to the book. And you can see right here in the middle, there is not a lot. So this is how thin it is. Washi tape at the bottom adds bulk, that is for sure. Date stickers add a lot of bulk as well, even more than washi tape. It did not take away from the writing experience. So I did not really have any trouble writing on the pages when the book was open, but it definitely adds, as you can see, bulk and makes your notebook be wider on one side than on the other. If that's not something for you, then adding stickers at the same spot throughout the notebook is definitely not for you. I have this pencil board from Hobonichi in here because I'm right now not using anything in A6. I don't need it. I will archive this, and I am looking forward to sharing more with you in the future. Right now, definitely the Hobonichi A5 cousin is my jam, and that's where I'm in all the time. But we will see what my planner life is going to be in the future. Since I right now have the time, because we are not going out of the house so much, I am definitely enjoying the bigger space. But if that changes again and my life gets busier, maybe then the A5 will be too overwhelming and I will be changing to something else. Who knows? I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'll happy to answer them for you, and I hopefully will see you soon. Until then, bye.